So there are a variety of businesses and private entities that are involved in the operation of nuclear power plants in the United States. From a federal perspective, government agencies that are involved in nuclear power. The one primary agency is the NRC, or the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. They're based out of Washington, D.C., and they oversee part of the permitting process for nuclear facilities across the United States. Another federal agency that's located in Washington, D.C., and has branches or offices throughout the United States is is FERC, or the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and they're also involved in the permitting and regulation of nuclear power plants, especially those that operate on federal lands. Um, in terms of private organizations, companies such as Southern California Edison have historically owned and operated nuclear power plants. I worked for Southern California Edison um, for about 6 years, and they operated the nuclear power plant at San Onofre in California. Currently, that is being shut down. The age of the reactors and some uh, minor releases necessitated the shutdown of that plant. And that will take one nuclear power source off the grid in California, but other privately owned and operated nuclear power plants exist throughout the United States. There are also nonprofit organizations that work collaboratively to address the challenges of nuclear energy and to promote its uses throughout the United States and worldwide. Well, we have nuclear power because it's evolved in the United States over time. In the 1960s, there was a significant blackout in the northeastern United States, and that blackout created an urgency or a need for more reliable power across the energy system in the United States. So, following the 1960s, we saw the use and implementation of nuclear power grow as a means to support a more reliable and cost efficient system across the United States. Now, this came with some benefits and some consequences. In terms of benefits, there was the expectation that nuclear power would add reliability to the system. There was also the expectation that it would keep electricity affordable. And since the 1960s, it has done that. But in terms of consequences, we have to realize that there's the potential to expose workers to nuclear materials. There's the potential for off-site releases, which can expose communities to nuclear fallout. We saw that at 3 Mile Island. We also saw that in Russia at Chernobyl. And the other thing that remains unclear about nuclear power is what we do with the nuclear waste over time. No country in this world has resolved the long-term disposal of nuclear waste. So we can continue to struggle with that issue. As far as it being in our communities, I think that when it's well managed, it can be a benefit to the system. As mentioned, it can provide reliability in an electrical system. It can help control costs with electricity over time. It can reduce CO2 emissions from electricity operations. And it can provide us with national security as well, and energy security. And that's all I have to say about nuclear power in our community.